Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody loves to buy.
Nicole Cramer to the stage!
By a show of hands, who in this room considers themselves a salesperson?
Nicole Cramer.
She's awesome. Well, I follow her on social media.
She's one of the best speakers that I've ever been around.
For 15 years, I was a high school math teacher. You might not know that there's two types of salespeople. One sells things to people. The other helps people make a decision to buy. But I'm going to tell you right now the reason why people buy. All right, by a show of hands, who in this room considers themselves a salesperson? About half of us are self-aware. The rest of you will figure it out sooner than later because everybody's in the business of selling something. But you might not know that there's two types of salespeople. One sells things to people. The other helps people make a decision to buy. And I'm not sure which one of those two you are, but I am sure of this. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody loves to buy, right? We all know that. We've bought a lot of things that we feel really good about. And when we know how to help someone make that decision to buy, then we're not selling them anything, we're serving them at the highest level. And you might be wondering, since this is the whole title of this talk, what we're gonna cover in the next 7 minutes, and I am gonna share with you exactly why people buy, and I'm gonna share with you how I learned that lesson. As Jim said, for 15 years, I was a high school math teacher, teaching the Pythagorean theorem, the quadratic formula. One day I woke up and decided I wanted to try my hand at sales, and the next thing I know, I have this sales job, and I'm walking in on day one, and I'm nervous as all get out because I'm thinking, well, I don't know anything about selling. I'm gonna have to learn all these things. I'm gonna have to become one of those people that knows the right things to say at the right time. And because I was nervous, my district manager called me in and he said, I gotta tell you, I know you're nervous about being here. I know you feel like you have all these, things you have to learn, but I'm gonna tell you right now the reason why people buy. The reason that people buy is not going to be because you have the lowest prices. That was a shocker. It's not gonna be because you have the best equipment. It's not gonna be because you have the best products or the best service. The reason people buy from you is because they like you. And if you always remember that, you'll always be good at sales. I thought, oh, I just gotta get people to like me? Okay, I can get people to like me. It's not what I thought it was. And what I'm gonna share with you, besides now that we know the reason why people buy is because they like us, how do we get people to like us? And there's a 3-step formula. Of course, I'm gonna call it a formula. The math teacher in me is still here. And this formula is really important because these are the 3 things that you need to remember so that you can always help people make decisions to buy. The first one is lead with curiosity, because curiosity is how we actually show someone that we care. And why does that matter? Because more important than even being seen and understood, people want to be cared about. They want to know that you are interested in them instead of trying to be so interesting. And that's a really important piece because when we say getting people to like you, it's getting people to like you because they like who they are when they're around you. They feel that you're interested in them. They feel that you care, and you show that by asking better questions. And what does that lead to? Well, when we ask better questions, we understand more about that person. And if we understand more about that person, then we can connect with them. And that's the second ingredient in the formula. First, we've got to stay curious. We've got to ask better questions. We've got to slow things down. Once we gather that context and we understand what's important to that person, then we can connect with them. Every single person on the planet is listening to the exact same radio station. It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? And when we slow things down by staying curious and we ask questions, we gather context, we understand what's important to that person, we can relate to that person. And when we can relate to them, they feel that we understand them. We've all had that friend that gave us advice too soon. And what went through our head? You don't get it. You don't know me. You don't understand me. You don't have the full picture. When we stay curious and we ask better questions, we get the context that allows us to connect, then that person feels that they can trust us. Trust isn't built overnight, it's built over time, and we get there by asking better questions. And the third ingredient in the formula, also a C, is courage. And I don't mean jump out of an airplane courage. I don't mean beat off the angry grizzly bear that's coming at you kind of courage. I mean the courage to ask. Because people can't buy what they don't know is for sale. And a well-timed ask is just the natural next step. When you've stayed curious for long enough, when you've sought to connect with that person, when you can hit the show me that you know me button because you understand them, they now trust you. The natural next step is to ask. Now, an untimed, too soon ask comes across as pushy. That's like trying to get married on the first date. But an ask at the right time, when you've stayed curious for long enough and you can truly demonstrate that you know them, you understand them, you get them, then the courage to ask is your obligation because you have a recommendation that you can make that's going to change their life. And that's the kind of salesperson that I hope we all strive to be, the kind that seeks to understand people and make recommendations that are in their best interests. Because remember, nobody wants to be sold, but everybody loves to buy.
Nicole Cramer is one of the best speakers that I've ever been around, not only for her energy, but her insights. It's none of this like, oh, do this sales tactic or say this. She speaks from the heart and she has the experience to impact people around sales because she has been #1 in a Fortune 500 company. It's depth in human connection to understand what people need, to then serve them what they want. And I think that is one of the most powerful things you can do, especially someone who's a sales coach.
Oh, she's awesome. Well, I follow her on social media, so I see her videos and her reels, and I follow all of that. And she does an amazing job. And I actually own an Allstate insurance agency, and so we're always talking about making connections with people. We're always talking about getting curious and things like that. So hearing her talk about it just really reinforced things that we role play, things that we study, things that we try to get better.
Nicole just brings this like poise and this energy to her speeches, and it just seems like effortless in how she approaches it. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch. It is very inspirational for me to want to embody that, and gives me something to like look forward to.
Nicole, when she came up, I just love her energy, and she was talking about sales. So she said that everybody sells, even though they don't realize they're selling. And we need to get to know the person before we try to sell them anything. Now, I've heard that before, but I never heard it the way she said it.
Yeah, she's great. Somebody that really cares, somebody that comes from the heart. It's very rare to find somebody in sales that's about connection, that's about people.
Oh my God, her energy is just like mine. It's so bubbly and so energetic.
Yeah, and just how she commands the stage, how she does it with like a cool, calm, collected voice, and her message is clear and concise, and it just feels like she's like floating up there. It's just effortless.
And I brought my entire office with me tonight. So hearing her speak, it was just like hearing someone else say that, and then just light bulbs just kept going off. And there was a lot of chatter, afterwards, like, oh my gosh, she's right. We talked about that the other day. So she does such an amazing job. And everything she said was just solid. I can't wait to break it down with my team tomorrow in our meeting.
And the good news is, if you want to get better at being curious and asking better questions, we've got all night here together, and I've got 23 questions that you might want to get your hands on that are going to help you get to know people better and make better recommendations. And I'm going to invite you to come chat with me tonight, and I will be happy to share those 23 questions with you so that you can be the kind of salesperson that helps people make a decision to buy. Thank you.